So they announced this at Cedia. So the new, I have a new video out today. If you guys have not seen it, go to my channel, check it out. It's about the Denon X3800H. I was poking around in the, I don't have one. I was poking around the manual. And this is the first time that this level of a receiver, price-wise and in their model lineup, they went from currently taken down. Oh. Directed many people to the Denon website, currently taken down for maintenance. Oh, did I break the Denon website with my video? Love it. Basically, that AVR, you could only run one 11-channel configuration, and that is a 7.1.4. Okay, we already knew that. Yes, you need a second, you need a power amplifier to run that. But this year's model, you can do a 516. So if you don't have surround back, or if you don't have too much room for a surround back, you could do 3 pairs of high channels. Cool. You can also do 11 channels of Oro 3D, which is huge. So those 2 features were only in the Denon 6700, which is double the price. So now we've got some good. See, people are like, "What is this a big deal? Isn't that?" It's all about the trickle down. That was some great trickle down. We got features in a $3,000 receiver coming down to $1,700 price point. I think that's great. I think that's great for everybody. Even if it doesn't apply to you, I just think it's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. So you'd say that's a sweet spot. I don't know anything about the 4800H or whatever other ones other than this 3800 that everybody's talking about. Like, I don't know what differentiates them, because I think a lot of times these companies, they try to pass on, trickle down, like you're saying. But sometimes it's almost like they do too much and like makes it hard to recommend the next step up.
They cannibalize.
That's good for us, right? That's good for consumers.
Right. Like the one model is like cannibalized a little bit. So
you're like, what's the purpose of that? Just because of this one feature?
Yeah.
Are they going to do enough on the other ones to make it worthy of spending more money?
Right. That's the clear question. I know from what I read, the 4800 only processes 11 channels. So now it's my thing was the 3800 getting Oro 3D, was it going to be a 9-channel Oro 3D? Right. But now it's like 11 channel. Like, oh, fantastic. Yeah. Like I was just like, oh, that's great. And then now you have the ability to run another set of high channels. If you have room for that, if that's your thing, you've been wanting that was only available on something, double the price. So I think it's always a good thing. And then, even back when the 3500, so a few iterations ago, that receiver was still only 7-channel processor, right? So it was the 4. So I was always recommending the 4500 and an external amplifier, and you'll get better performance than the 6500 or whatever it was at the time. So hey guys, my 3800 came in on Saturday. You can run Aura 3D and the back surrounds. Oh, that's good. There you go. Awesome.
There it is. Yeah. So yeah, I'm not sure about the higher end models. They just, how much is this 3800H?
$1,700.
Man, that's crazy.
Still not cheap.
Not cheap, but I mean, do they have the dedicated pre-out?
This is all it should. The 37 did. So the 38, I'm assuming, does. I don't have it. Like I said, I think I saw something about pre-out mode in the manual. Now the manual was available online. So I tried to find the manual for the 4800, but there's no specific link. So I tried to just change the numbers in the URL to see if it was just there.
Juan,
but I don't have it.
Juan is saying here that he thinks that the 3800 has 2 sets of parallel subs and the X48 has 4 independent subs.
They're all supposed to be 4 independent subs.
Are they?
Yeah. So that's what they said. Yes, the Reverend Sim confirms dedicated preamp. And then what do you call it? All 6 HDMI ports are 2.1 40 gigabit per second bandwidth. Wow. So that part's figured out on the Denon end, I guess.
I think Reverend Slim told me he read the manual. You know how he is.
Yeah.
He reads it from...
That guy's a reader.
He's a reader. He loves it.
He's a reader.
He doesn't miss anything either.
4 independent sub out, says Dre Barnes. So yeah. So it would be kind of hard to see why people would go to a 4800 unless they wanted that little uptick in output power.
Skip. Nah.
It's not worth it.
Well, the force. So independent sub outs, I saw that you could do like directional. Like okay, the left sub is going to go with the left channel stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a believer in that, but whatever. You can do that. To me, it makes more sense to use that as with multi-QX. Now that you have 4 independent sub outs, most people get a mini DSP 2x4 HD so that they can EQ each sub independently, set the gains, delays all independently, so you have a nice summed response. Now you can just do that. Why get a mini DSP 2x4 HD if your AVR can do it? To me, that's the powerful thing about it. Not the left, setting.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense to me.
What's interesting is what I heard from some other CDIA videos is that you can use Odyssey Multi-Q 32, Multi-X 32 or whatever that's called. And that is the calibration that's the Odyssey calibration, and that'll work with 4 independent subwoofers. And I'm like, wait a second. But this Multi-X 32, Multi-X 32, whatever it's called, it's been around for years. So it's been able to do it. There was just a hardware limitation then.
Well, I guess they were kind of doing that with the 2, right? Remember they had the 2 sub outs, right?
Yeah, but those were parallel on that model.
Okay. Well, the 2 sub outs on the 4700H,
those were independent.
Set what could you set independently? I'm trying to think. Gain. I think gain. Maybe delay. I don't know. But anyway, it was just very basic. It would combine them, and then it would EQ both of them together. That's a simple way to do things, right? Mm-hmm. What I'm talking about is EQing both of them, setting the delays all independent of the other sub, so that you have a cohesive sound at your listening position. Listening positions, multiple is what I would recommend. But to me, that's the power of this whole thing. Somebody else is mentioning how you can use it. There's like an option for tactile shakers. So basically, you can set a high pass on it. So you can say, hey, for these subs, I want them to cross over at 80 hertz. But this, this bass shaker, I only want it to go from 30 hertz and below. So these are all things you could do with a mini DSP 2x4 HD already.
Right.
But the fact you don't have to spend another $200 on that, man, I love that. Like I've been telling people, this multi-QX. Well, I guess the $200 you would have spent on a mini DSP 2x4 HD, you can now spend on a multi-QX. Right, so you're gonna spend $200 on that.
So you can keep it within the Odyssey ecosystem, if that isn't even a thing, right? You wouldn't have to do an external thing.
So. I've always said multi-QX, I think, is awesome if you plan on doing your own EQ. If you want to do auto everything, you don't want to mess with that. Okay, maybe choose the Dirac option. After every Monday podcast, we have an after show. If you're interested in joining us, go to patreon.com/Daily HiFi.